All right, guys, love it or hate it, we are switching the steering wheel out to a yoke. So we're gonna walk you through the process. So this steering wheel was delivered with the trim attached. It all simply pops off. There aren't any screws to hold it. All that comes from the OEM steering wheel. So I expected this to be real carbon fiber. It looks like it is, but it's just a single layer that's overlaid on the plastic. So you can actually see some of the weave on the edges. So it does look like they actually epoxied it. So I guess technically it's real, but it's single layer. But hey, it will absolutely do the trick. All right, so first things first, what we're gonna do here is go into the service menu. In order to do that, you're gonna click here, click software. You hold down on the Model 3 logo, or if you're a Model Y or another version, then what you'll see pop up when you release it is an access code dialog. Here, you're gonna type in service. Click OK. It's gonna ask you if you wanna enable service mode. The screen will turn red. Now you have access to some menus that you actually need. Okay, so now that we have the service menu open, we're gonna go back to the car. Under safety, we're gonna scroll down, we're gonna power everything off. So this turns off everything in the car. So now it's safe to remove the airbag. So there's a little pinhole in this casing. You're going to want to stick a small screwdriver or other tool into. You should be able to feel a small clip. Once you're on that clip, you feel a click. And it releases the airbag. All right, so now that we've got both clips popped, we should be able to get this airbag free. And that's all there is there. Grab this clip and pinch both of these connectors, it locks, and unplug it. And there's our airbag. This is going to go back into the new steering wheel. So let's take a look at what we have here. What we're going to do first is get this off. So we've got our hex key. I'm going to try with a small breaker bar. See if we can get this puppy off. You're going to want to hold the steering wheel and break it. It actually was not nearly as difficult as everybody says it is. Took some muscle, but hey, I'm a strong guy. So once you've got this loosened a little bit, there's a little trick here. What you don't want to do is just yank the steering, take the screw out, yank the steering wheel, hit yourself in the face. Sometimes they are a little bit stuck. So if you just loosen this bolt right here, break it loose. There we go. So now we're clear. You heard that pop. Now we can go back with our hex, take the bolt the rest of the way out. And our steering wheel is free. Be careful not to yank on it. You've got another clip here. If you have a heated steering wheel, you're going to want to take out the same way as your airbag clip. Pinch the two locks. And there we go. So let's go inside, see what we can work with the new steering wheel, get it set up. Okay, so now we've got our yoke and our old steering wheel. First thing we're going to do is we're going to grab a T25 Torx. We've got to take out a few screws I think probably need to remove these clips first. And then it looks like we have 4 screws that'll let us take off this surround, get to the buttons, so we can put them in the new wheel. Looks like these plastic clips simply come out. Pretty easy. It's actually really soft plastic, so I wouldn't worry about breaking anything. Okay, so we've got that out. Should be able to just lift this out of the way. Well, it looks like there's a wire clipped to it. It's our heating function. Okay, so we'll go ahead and take out these Torx screws. We're going to reuse these screws and everything else with the new wheel. Set those aside. And everything will install in the new wheel just the way it comes off. Now to get this surround off, all you have to do is stick your fingers behind the trim here and just pop it off all the way around. It comes off pretty easy. You have to work it. You don't want to bend it too much, but it actually is not that difficult. Okay, that's it. We also have our harness here. We're going to take that out. We're also going to have to remove each of these switch modules and install them in our new wheel. So we've already removed the surround. We're essentially going to make them look identical. Okay, we're back with our little electronics toolkit. Looks like it's actually a T6 that we needed. So now that we've got the right screwdriver, we can take off these scroll wheels. So there are also some plastic clips in here. So we will want to disengage those. See if we can't get under there. We've got 2 out. See if we can get to the other one. Okay, we pop that module out, as well as this trim piece. Move over and do the same thing with the other button. Okay, now that we've got this free, just gonna come over here and swap everything over. It's clipped right in, and these trim pieces are actually little slots here around the wheels. So we'll put them in there first. Pop them in, replace these little T6 screws. I'm just working in reverse order here. Okay, now if you have a heated function, you're gonna want to plug that harness back in. We're gonna go ahead and reinstall everything where it should be. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and get all this back in, clips back in on the bottom. Our little T25s back in place. Now we should be ready to install the assembly back in the steering wheel. Remember, first thing that we'll have to do is get this positioned, clipped in, and then we'll replace all these Torx screws. Sorry, these are the T25s. Make sure everything's out of the way when you go to clip it. Remember, there were 4 of them. You do want to make sure that everything is clipped. You see this is not here. I can see that it's lifted a little bit. Okay. And we're going to come down here and make sure everything is nice and clear. We're going to pop our clips back in. There we go. We're ready to reinstall. All right, guys. Sorry it's a little bit dark, but we're going to try and be quick about this. We've got the steering wheel ready. You see, we have 2 harnesses, one that plugs into the steering area, one that plugs into the airbag. So we're going to go ahead and replace the wheel. Just kind of gently wiggle it on there. And now we can get this first connector back on. Let's go ahead and power down before we replace the airbag. Remember, under safety, power off. Now we're going to clip that in. Let's put our bolt back in and tighten this down. Now, if you noticed when I started, one thing that I did is I made sure that the wheel was straight, just so you're not off. It's really easy to install it wrong, very easy to change it if you need to, but we'd rather not have to mess with it. You do want to grab the steering wheel, make sure you tighten this down very, very good. The last thing you want is your steering wheel popping off when you're driving. Now to replace the airbag, we have these 3 pins that'll line up and lock in. We're going to go ahead and plug it back in. Starting with the bottom, push straight in. All right, guys, we messed up. Our airbag wouldn't clip in. Reason being, we actually need to take this spring clip from the old steering wheel. Don't forget that. Okay, so our airbag wouldn't clip in, so I realized we actually forgot this spring clip. So don't forget that out of your old steering wheel. Just kind of positions back behind the 3 points. Plug our airbag back in. It should snap right in. All right, that's all there is to it. So we've got our yoke ready. This is awesome because now I have a dashboard app on my phone. I'm going to be able to see all of my car's information and make it feel more like a go-kart. All right, guys, well, that's all we've got for you for today. So hopefully you enjoy watching us make a mess. and getting some of these install videos done. It's definitely challenging but rewarding to do your own work on your cars. So if there's anything that you want to do to your Tesla and you're not sure how, drop a comment. Maybe we'll make a video or at least share some details with what we've experienced. We've pretty much torn the car apart at this point and put it back together. Doesn't take a lot of tools, doesn't take a lot of skill. Just have confidence that there are resources out there that will help you get it done. Until then, make sure you smash the like and subscribe button, and we will absolutely keep publishing videos. We've got a whole rebuild series coming up soon if you haven't already caught it. And we look forward to hearing your feedback. If you'd like to pick up a yoke of your own, we found a really inexpensive one. It is genuine leather. It does have a carbon fiber layer. It looks great. It feels great. Actually, you know, arguably better than the OEM steering wheel. Ours has a few bubbles that we're getting quite annoying. And I can actually see now that I've taken it apart that some of that may be repairable, but we're not going to mess with it. We've got the yoke. So check our description for a link, and happy motoring.